That was dope. That was really dope. That's hard.
We could pretend it's you and I, stuck in a lonely paradise. Attention is undivided. You're getting me excited. Fading out.
Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're here, I have listened, we're going to be taking a look at Sung Han-bin's Artist of the Month entitled Bad Boy. I've heard that there is a ton of tutting in here, potentially Spella may make an appearance. I have no idea with any of this, and I am definitely here for this. Normally with Artist of the Months, I normally do them with a K-pop marathon of some kind, but seeing this here, I was encouraged to take a look at it, and there is some past material we are going to look through, an exchange with him and Lip J during his time on Boys Planet, just to give a baseline, just to see some form of growth, because normally I love being able to see growth and movement quality while I take a look at these, so I'm excited for it. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first up we have his time on Boys Planet. I believe this is him, ZEROBASEONE, but this is how they made, you know, the group and everything. But here we go, whacking Lip J. Can I see it?
저는 주로 이런 팔 쓰는 터팅을
Arm control.
터팅을 원래 주로 많이 했었어요. 말하면서 했었네.
Look at that.
저랑 좀 같이 어떤 대화를 한번.
The answer is yes.
실제로 보다니.
너무 좋겠다. 뭐 음악 뭐 틀어주실 건데?
와 영광이다. 와 대박. 꿈 아니지? 쌤 영광입니다. 아 진짜 너무 멋있다. 와 대박. 야 이걸 본다고? 명장면.
We get to see this in
나
person.
얼굴 너무 작은 것 같아. 너무 예뻐.
아니. 찍어야지.
Yeah, come on, Mihawk.
와 멋있어.
What are we gonna do? That's just a warm up. We all know that, right? Come on. No to be continued here. I'm ready for it. Yeah. She said, okay, okay. That was fun. Oh, the vibes. Yeah. Oh, this is fantastic. That was great. Oh, man. I feel like I'm on a different show right now. You see the slow part.
와 진짜 너무 멋있는 거예요. 그냥 눈빛부터가 너무 이거 스맨판 것 같고.
스맨파.
너무 멋졌어.
Dope.
아니 이게 눈을 마주 보면은 딱 이렇게 그 느낌이 오는데 딱 자기 파트 되니까 어딜? 어딜?
Oh, that was wonderful. Oh, that makes me very excited going into this Artist of the Month. Here we go. I am expecting hopefully maybe some more torso integration in his choices, but we'll see. Come on, I'm ready. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. To all of this. We're already seeing more full body integration in his choices.
Infatuate.
like his spit too. Yeah, yeah. Come on, come on, come on. Ugh. Oh, what a risk on having those on his fingers. You're just asking for him to get looked at with a freaking microscope. Whoa.
We are here to release our limitations and embrace.
Sheesh. Ooh, talking about an Oreo cookie effect on that bad boy. Cool. I mean, the song's name is Bad Boy. That's funny. That was dope. That was really dope. That's hard. Oh, here we go. Bad Boy composed in-house, Pure Point in-house, choreographer Bada and J. Rick. Tutting choreography, so that second section, Spella, performance director, song, J-Yub, dancers, Spella, Lusher from Bebe, Lisu Tatter, Unki, Sowon, Injong, Hyunmin. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Yeah to that. Fantastic. So, I mean, if you're just going like off the top, what are big noticeable differences? Way more utilization of the torso, usage of the full body, and the commitment to the choices. I do know, of course, when you're doing a conversation or an exchange like what we saw on the show, I mean, we've heard commentary from other people who've gone through the Street Fighter franchise. It just feels different. When you see them in more like the battle sense, the battle scene of things, you really get to see some of their best work. Waxy is a fantastic example of this. And so I do know just that one little excerpt from Boys Planet is just the tip of the iceberg of probably so much movement quality that he has showcased throughout the time of whenever you've seen him. But I thought it was a really fun, just stark difference already out the gate. From the top here we go. I may have to 0.75 it just out of courtesy to catch everything. But the tutting was, you want to talk about probably one of the most difficult sequences that has grazed the Artists of the Month videos that I have analyzed. Yeah, I think it's very safe to say that, and it's done well. Not because of what I just have watched, you know, from him. You can tell in the quality of movement and how it's syncopated, and the commitment and the follow through of the completion of the movement. I mean, he was good at Boys Planet, so they were not exaggerating. Like, he has phenomenal, like, great stage presence, so it makes sense why he made it on the final lineup. Okay, the reverse smoke, super dope effect. Really cool. Now, I'm assuming there's some, you know, some sense of, what's the word? Spider imagery, and there's some of this, would I go super cognitive dissonance? Maybe, on just promoting anxiety, and a lot of times when you see spiders used in more of these, like, neurotic scenes, you see them more in a negative light, so that's what it kind of gives impression-wise, and of course, with the strings on his suit are really cool. Okay, so like I said, it's at 0.75. He already has accents going off right here with the shoulder, boom, doom, boom, boom, right there from the chest, hitting everything. So it's very clear. We know exactly what timbres he's justifying through his choices. Bringing it through, I like the kick to the reset. Really nice on that with the switch. You see this door creaking, which also gives that kind of, not horror, but definitely unease, unsettlement, you know, about what's going on. And also, there's not like a clear, controlled design about the fit either. It feels out of control in the choices, right? So I think there's a lot of these factors that tie into why it may give this impression of like a, not hostility, but unhingedness about it, right? From here, looking it through, the switch is nice. I mean, you can tell there's investment in the back for that, so that's great. The stillness of the dancers, the reset, he throws it up, and then he ends up doubling it up, boom, boom, as he does a subtle trace down at the hands. He folds that arm around. Let me just go ahead and fix this here. He just folds it, boom, notice the stylized of the hand, boom, he hits it over. Not quite a reverb per se, but definitely a reinstatement of an accent with the hand. Great placement on that as well. Whoops, my bad. So as they switch this up, let me go back. So he goes that ding, 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 really nice on the dancers as they face the back, and they create that same dynamic and accent. A really big thing when I see anything from Studio Choom with dancers, whether it's the K-pop groups like, let's say, La 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 from Stray Kids, watching the dancers with them, or when you see, you know, artists of the month, I have made this a note on quite a few of them. I've seen The Boys, Juyeon, I've seen Idols, Suji, and then I've seen ATEEZ's Wooyeon, so far just at the top of my head, and they're all affiliated with, of course, the marathons. But in my case here, I don't think I really have to give any note to the dancers when it comes to the commitment and the competency of the choreography. Not just because I know the history of a lot of the dancers on this lineup, but I think a lot of it comes from just the straight structure of the choreography and based on how it's saturated and how it felt. It's one thing for your artist to go for it, but when you have your dancers hold it down, it makes it feel more complete. And that was a really big note I gave to quite a few artists of the month that I've had the privilege of looking at, you know, because it doesn't, I mean, the weight feels different to the artist versus the dancers. That's just kind of how it is a lot of times. And so it's really nice to really see that it's balanced and well appreciated. So right here as he goes, the drop down is really cool. Nice little, you know, more of a reverb. And then all of our other dancers kind of, you know, use that unhinging or that door creak to reset to the back. Really dope on the lighting for this. The arms come up, boom. The shadow effects really, really cool here. So a lot of times I see people, you know, they're like on a table. I love the fact that we have lighting to where it gives that imagery of a table, but we have a shadow effect. That's so cool. So he has one leg bent. Everybody's hands are nice and folded over. The knocking, of course, the door, we hear that creaking of the door, so it's definitely, I think, the third time we've heard this door. Everybody, great range. Notice that they have a certain speed and then they accelerate it near the tail end of it as he comes up. So it feels really cool. Reinstatement of that reverb in the tail end of that. He sets it up. Then from here is hit, 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 stylized hands as he drops it down to reset it forward. Maybe zombie, just more on that creepy sense of proposing those hands down. Everyone now, instead of standing, they're now on their knees. So that was a really seamless way to transition your dancers from standing to kneeling, because I didn't quite catch it. I'm assuming it has to come from what's going on from, it could just be a cut, maybe. I'm not quite sure though. That was cool. Da, 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 da. He takes it, uses the wrist to guide that, which is really nice. Bringing those legs in. We're here for it. He goes boom, boom. And so he hits it back. And on the second one, he reinstates and uses the fingers to incorporate the direction for that. He hits it through, boom. And then he has a little yeah. Go off the wordplay for yeah. He rotates it around. He grabs the outside of the knee to fold that leg over. So I really like the connection of that, where there was a trigger on the outside of the leg. Boom. It causes an effect, and then it brings it right back in. He takes that hand, it brings it right to the chest, and then it causes another little effect for his head to rotate around. So there's a lot of connection happening, but through different statements or different progressions. It's just set up in a different way. It's not so predictable, which is really, really nice, and you love to have that if you're doing a dance isolated performance, which is cool. From here, boom, the crawling in. I like this, where you kind of feel some concern, the raising of the shoulders. You want to feel more defensive. You have the hands, the change of the stylization of it definitely has more of the articulation separation of the fingers. We're here for it. I love that. And they double it up. Boom, boom, really nice. And then from here, he has more, we're going to go straight, we're going to go more on the tutting side of things than when I go arm control more pertains to the new Vogue way. And because of just the context of what we're seeing here, I'm assuming we're going straight tutting on a lot of our choices. But I know, as we saw earlier, he has some whacking experience, which is super cool. But anyway, they're crawling in that boom, boom, they go, they hit it up, 2 interruptions, he hits it, he takes it through. One hand is nice, not really, I mean, it's not quite clean enough to go for a fixed point, but I like the choice that he's leaving one more still and the other one syncopating. And then from there we rotate it, connecting to the wrist to reinstate, to use after this rotation to drop it back down to come right back up. And then he has this nice little boom tension as he goes and moves forward, which is really fun. He crawls down right here. Sometimes when I do see people get drugged like this, it kind of feels a little corny or cheesy, but here the setup of it was really well done. It feels, I mean, as he lays down, I was kind of giving that predictability, pattern making. I've seen this setup before. He's about to get drug, but catch this though, there's fabric, and that was a new little addition that we hadn't quite seen in just in the context of what we were shown so far. So I like the little difference there, and also just the lighting here with the hands, really interesting, and definitely leaves you feeling a sense of not concern, but intrigue, and you're not quite sure what's going to happen. Is it going to go darker? Are we about to pop off? Like, what's about to happen? And I think that's kind of their goal here. So I love that. Really cool. Then from here, really like it going from that really dark purple, and then we're shooting those legs out. Really great. The range looks pretty dope for the most part on most people. Some people are kind of catering more closer to that 90 degree than others. And everyone does give the impression that some are bending to at least try to fight for the leg up. So this is a very interesting thing to talk about, because when you look at the legs, you have to think, okay, what's the focal point of the movement? And then you make concessions based off of that in order for the entirety of the group to look as cohesive or as clean as possible realistically. So maybe not everybody has the same degree of flexibility in their legs. So what are we going to use to try to fight for the focal point? Focal point is this leg here, not the standing leg. So having some people bend the leg a little bit more for the sake of getting the leg up, I think makes more sense to me than having this leg lower by keeping this leg straight. Does that kind of make sense what I'm kind of going off of? So I like the fact that our range is pretty close on this. And also you have to think context. What are we doing before and after the move? From here, we go, I like the reset, really nice going from an extension, boom, bringing it right back in. You have to use that core to make sure you don't fall over. Then it feels like he's isolated. It's an isolated shot of just him. Then he brings it up and then back down. And then he brings it in. I like the high, you know, kind of walk with a little bit of an arch in the back. As he walks, everybody else is hinged a little bit more forward. So there's a subtle level change going on. Of course, contrast of costume really helps for this. And I like the double doom, doom, boom, boom. Nice syncopation of the legs. Really great, guys. Oh, the spacing and the formations are incredible. We love it. They do it once again. They hit it out to the side and then they reset like we've seen before. We take it up and then we go to the outside. I like that, boom, and then we take it. Da 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 da, really nice, matches that tone of the syllables really well. Da 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 da, everybody hits it, which feels very impactful, even though it's closer on him, which is nice. The turn is good. Everybody turns and they land. There's no extra steps that kind of question stability, so that's always nice to see. One of our people is just a smidgen too late getting down, but they come up, or maybe they were getting up too early. The reset there is super nice. We go and we move, and it goes da na 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 na, really nice. As you can tell, I'm on 0.75, and there's really not any breaks or breathers that I'm kind of taking here, which means this is very dense and very well executed. There's more things to talk about that are positive than constructive, which I think is a double thumbs up on a Studio Tomb Artist of the Month. I love it. Really cool. So everybody's taking more of an outside arm approach, and he's taking more inside, so there's opposition in play already. Stylized hands are fine. He has a really nice moment as a feature. Everybody else hits that sound in the back. Really cool. I also love the fact that we have integrated male and female representation as well. Super cool. And then da-na-na-na-na. This is cool. They go boom. They connect. So he has more of like we're being controlled, which a lot of these choices, especially that light that we saw a little bit earlier, was giving a sense of like controlling in the shadows. And so having a physical, tangible presence on him definitely showcases a similar imagery like what we saw earlier. So I definitely here for this commitment of the face is really helping sell with that. Of course, for me, I tend to advocate more for commit with your body, not just with your face, but it does help to have this too. So it's really nice. I love the commitment from the dancers. You know, we got some levels represented. The males, we have more of a hip isolation. Others are choosing to go way more full. I think the dancers are going more full, and he's taking that more character laid back approach by isolating it more in the hips, which I think is totally fine. And then from here, new section, we branch it out and over. Really nice on the scoops on that. They hit it through the bad boy, boom, da-da-doom. Really nice. So I think we're doubling it up. And it goes bad boy. And it's really nice on the representation on the bass. Something that I'm so impressed with so far is there hasn't really been a hint of him not using his back. And so many people, especially idols, I run into this problem a lot in the early stages of a career, and he's still technically Gen 5, Zero Base 1, right? And Gen 5, I think, has really done a fantastic job as an entire generation of groups that really showcase incredible competency of the physical demand of crew choreography. You know what I mean? So this isn't really as shocking to me. It is very impressive to see, but it's not something that really caught me super off guard. It's something that I'm really appreciative of. This is a dance. Does that make sense? It doesn't feel watered down at all. It doesn't feel like he's an idol. You know what I mean? Which is really cool. And I do feel like idols can be professional dancers. We're already seeing that. We've seen that for years. I don't like the stigma that has been presented in the Korean media of, oh, you're an idol, we look down upon you because you're not a dancer. Like, that's crap. Especially because if you look here, like, that's completely heresy, right? I mean, he's holding it down very well, just as well as the people who do this for a living. You know what I mean? Incredible. I mean, he's a performer, but you see what I mean? They hone in on this craft, which is so impressive. They're rotating on this. This is so cool. Da-da-da, bad, bad. So the switching on that's really cool. And then it goes, boy, ugh, dun, dun, dun. And then it goes, boom, boom. There's like that punching effect. So having the bounce on that was really nice, but it wasn't so bouncy that it took you out of that part of the music that he was justifying. Really dope. And then from here, boom, bad boy. So it had a hit, and then we smoothed it, but we still had tension, and then we reinstated it in a subtly different way. Really cool. D. And here comes the fun. Ugh, I think this is probably the section that you guys really wanted me to look at. Okay, let's talk about the tape. Whenever you have tape or gloves or anything on your fingers, you are asking for people to critique them. And so the fact that he has it, he says, oh, I know what I'm doing. Here we go. Love it. This right here, right? Just notice from the stylization of them, there's a slight curve, just like what you saw earlier from everybody's hands, but you had all the hands independent. Here, he's representing all of those in a single thing. This definitely gives like the spidery effect, and you have these hands all coming in from the sides, which is cool. He rotates around, and he twinkles it in ever so slightly. He takes those arms up on the breath, and then he resets it. Boom, there's a nice little reverb. Then he goes crawls, and then here we go. From here, he goes switch, switch. We drop the hands, really dope on the I don't know if they're contacts, I'm assuming yes, but they're really, really dope. Gives a vampire vibe, so he goes boom, boom, really cool. Now the dancers, here's the thing, the setup for this, you have to know you got to know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like that, you can't just fake this. You can't fake decent tutting. It takes practice, it takes like fatiguing yourself and building the physical stamina. The hardest choreography, one of the hardest choreographies I have ever learned was a Spello choreo from tutting. Just the arm control, the positions, the speed. Speed will take your arms out so quickly, even by using the back. It's just something that you're just gonna have to have. So really well done on the fact that I'm able to see more breath in his choices and more, fulfillment and performance quality in it. It doesn't feel like he's just doing movements, right? And I know he didn't quite showcase that with Lip J, but I already see a huge degree of improvement just in this particular niche that we saw earlier. So this is cool. So they're all framing around in like more of a, like a semicircle kind of vibe, which is cool. So he resets it, boom, 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 boom. He goes and reflips it. Then the accents, so everybody has their hands, a little bit more folded in. He's taking more of the ownership of the polyrhythmic side, the syncopated side of the track. Everybody else is more embellishing and creating ornaments, but you still got to hold it down and know what you're doing. From here, he takes it here. He goes, and this arm does subtle control to control what's going on here. So it's a mix of fixed points, it's a mix of speed, it's a mix of isolations, as well as you have to have some degree of flexibility. This is not a normal angle for a lot of people because of the requirement of having this particular part of your wrist flexible. It just takes time. So that right there is really cool. And then from here, he takes it and he's using his choices to allow the dancers to respond out of it. So that's what I mean by they're an embellishment. They're an accessory to this, but man, oh man, do they have to be like on top of it. That's so cool. And he switches it and then he unfolds it. Ooh, this is such a Spello-coded section, I swear to you, I love it. Da-da-da, they all boom, they go out, notice that they're letting their chest stay behind, I love that. And then you have him set it up, he goes da-da-da, da-da-da, boom, really nice. And you do see he has it more angled about right there. So we have a very interesting setup in this particular segment, right? It's super cool. From here, he says the boom, boom, boom. It's little things like that. Notice that what he was doing before, he was just projecting and pushing forward, but notice he's having like depth in conversational performance about the choices. It feels like he's invested in them. It's not like he's just doing it for play. And that's the stuff that I'm mentioning. That's a really cool improvement just from the two videos. Rotating it around. I love the look. The commitment to looking and not just focusing front. That means you understand what you're doing enough to be able to enjoy what you're seeing, and you're allowing us as an audience to look at what you want us to see. So everybody's looking front except for him. They're folding it down nice and low, but he's folding it out. Ooh, so cool. Then from here we go, we reset, really nice. So we have a rotation. I believe it comes from the elbow on that part. Then we go rotate it through, super dope. He goes and swings it, so it goes here, and then he takes that wrist over to reset, and it goes and he takes the head to reset right there. Then you have a column, everybody's taking their hands. Now I'm definitely one when it comes to waving, be very mindful when you're going to do hand waves to make sure that the path that you're choosing is justified on the wave line that you're going for as a waver. So I love this angle. This is so freaking sick. This may end up being the thumbnail at this rate. That is dope. But they fix it, and then from there he rotates it. Ooh, we love it. And then I love this opposition, you know, that creates, oh, this is such beautiful framing. And then from there he goes, he takes it there, he has some nice choices, he brings it around up the top, they all go in, and then he takes it and sets it up. Guys, this is at 0.75, and it's still like hard to catch everything, goodness gracious. And then from here we got the setup. I love that choice. He goes, he folds it over, and by him pushing the energy of his choices over, it allows us to naturally see this really dope ripple going into the diagonal, and it's in every other. So you see one person have their arm low, then you have one that's high, but everyone's got to have their 90-degree in check. It can't just be Spella. Everybody's got to. So honestly, the only person is my girl on the tail end right there. And of course, because of his speed, he's able to deviate and create more stylized choices because he's your main feature for this. So that's super cool. And then they go, gosh, I love the depth. And these choices, they're so like, they're giving abstract, but they're so structured in the choice. Amazing. And then he has more, his are not as, I mean, they are about as stylized. Everybody else has the more claw effect, so it feels a little different in their fingers. His is more of a blade, which I think is totally fine. And then from there, you could, ooh, he had like a smidgen hyperextension. That was sick. They bring it in, then he hits it, boom, straight line, boom, fold it, poof, send it. Love it. Different angle on that. Then he goes, he resets it, brings it through. Love the every other still being shown, but you have it now. They're facing different directions. So just the, oh, this is so fun. I love it. I see why you guys wanted me to look at this, because I'm just dying over here. So I think my girl in the back, once again, she's the only one that's just a little bit different, but it doesn't really take away from what's going on. It's just somebody that I notice. And it kind of feels like a bookend almost. Like I kind of like the choice because it makes him feel connected in some way to the line, because you have half of them down and you got two of them up but back, and they're all making their own choices. So it definitely feels that way. Those that are lower, they feel a little bit more unified by the lean, and I think they needed to do that for the sake of the camera angle too. This is so dope. We love it. We love it. And then from there, boom, boom, and then he does once again more rotation. He has it folded up, and then he goes, he hits it, boom, and folds. Ooh, especially when you're doing a solo shot like that. And then this was such a dope take where she folds in, and then boom, different. Got the blindfold on. That is a really sick, that was a super sick moment on the camera. That was awesome. And I don't think I've quite seen that. I have seen a couple instances where you have like the, I think it was with Hyunjin, where he pops it. Yeah, Hyunjin from Stray Kids. I saw his too. So we'll add that to the list. He hits it, and then it was a mask cut over to his next outfit. So I think that's the first time I've seen this type of camera transition where you literally have a person go over, and he has such a quick costume change it gives, which was so cool. And that little tap, doom, 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 so subtle. But man, the perfect type of shot to introduce a new tone to your track. Ooh, so I love this. They turn around, boom, interlock, and they fold it in. They still got, I don't think they have the tape on their hands like he does still. I'm the bad boy, boom, little moment, boom, and then he takes it. Of course, we're gonna make it a boom, boom, boom. Really nice on that. I always am a fan of that. And then everybody else, he does this boom, 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 and it triggers everybody to have a really nice fullness about their arms. Notice stylized wrist on this, super cool. And it goes swing and swing, which is cool. Bad boy. They kick through, and then he hits boom, and they go boom, nice little hinge over to the side. Yeah, and then of course you have the lace. It's still hard to see and make sure you know where you're supposed to be. That is such a look. He pulls it with the red on it. Then right there, he throws, and then he has a really dope rotating element happen from that. So he has his moment. Commitment from the dancer. If the dancer didn't commit like that, it would have looked lame. So yay for him. Everybody else is drop, but everyone's making subtly different choices in the drop. I love that. He goes, dee-dee-dee, ooh, and it syncopates in the reset to the front. Ooh! Love it. So he hits it here, boom, he throws, everybody's head flings to the front. Really cool. We go bad, bad boy. And he takes it, bad boy. So even a lot of the bookends of the choreo, I would assume it's the J-Rick Bada sections, you want them to be complementary to the tutting section. You don't want them to feel so like, okay, here's Bada's choreo, up, here's Spella's, oh, we're back to J-Rick's. It needs to carry a similar vein of concept justification, right? So this is a huge communal effort, and I do know they have it behind the scenes. I'm still deciding on whether or not to look at that, or maybe wait till I do a Zero Base 1 marathon and have that a part of that. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but goodness gracious, this is super, super, super dope. Really cool. It goes bad, bad boy, hits it through, and then a little accent on the travel up is cool. They all take it around. The look is cool. That ooh, we are here. Ooh, and then he does a little accent with the leg into a little sweep, and then he goes to release. Now, the beauty of a lot of these choices, when you choose to go a reset and a tut, and you're not looking at it, that means that you have thoroughness in your rehearsal, because a lot of times when you see people always glue to the front, and they're looking and they're tutting, you can tell that they trained to look at themselves in the mirror. It's kind of like a subconscious way of catching that. So when you see them be able to have enough confidence to know that this angle is right, and I don't have to look at it, and I ain't got to look front, I can look over here and wherever land, you're sitting pretty. Like, those are like some subtle, mature choices that an artist would make. Super dope. And then from there, he takes it over. And because he was looking over here, this arm being presented to the other side is functional in the progression of what's going on. Then he goes and he takes it, and he folds it from the wrist to bring it out. And then we reset, boom. I love this choice where they go and they swing, and we have it nice like a gun. We have it loaded. We're rotating it through, hitting it through, and then we're back to no man's land, and we pull it, boom. And I think the lighting really helps with this, creating some sense of unhingedness, some sporadic choices. That was a really dope, match cut to get us into a different fit. We're really, really here for this. Then from here, it definitely has that spider webbed effect. So I'm assuming we definitely have a spider theme here of some kind. And the throws through, boom, bringing it around. This is giving some Bada vibes for sure. And then you have these muscles once again with the leg choice. Are we going bedrock on it? Let me see. No, we're just going, I think we're just going. I don't think the feet are a top priority. I think just where our weight goes is we drop it down, there's this that you hear, and they're hitting every single one of them in their choices. Really cool. We come up, This is a BPM change too, so it is faster than what we've experienced before. And so we have some dancers basket running away, and they take it over, boom, they drop, we're about to go, and have an accent with a throw. Really nice on that. Take the hands here, boom, bring it around. If I'm being real, I do think he's more underdeveloped in this genre than he is in the tutting, which to me, I say out of the two, he's naturally going to get better at this style. I think he probably has from his first time. I hadn't seen him do this genre, but I can tell based on maturity of choice in the torso and his performance quality, this does look like we're holding on and doing choreo more so here than a lot of these choices here. This felt like I get to show off what makes me, that I feel good. Like, I feel like I'm showing what I can do. But all of this here does feel very coded to just the K-pop niche of what is trending nowadays, when that's the Bada and J-Rick choreo, and that's really cool. And so I know he's doing a phenomenal job, do not get me wrong, but I can tell the difference on which one he has more maturity in and artistry, and I really do think it's honestly the harder one. I think tutting is a lot harder to showcase artistry, and just because of the discipline it takes to refine it. So for me, I think this is a win-win kind of routine. If you ask me, to throw on that's cool, great performance on this, the reset to the front, fun snake, he goes click, 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 click. Really nice, of course, framing with the dancers on the outside. They rotate it to the inside, boom, he has an accent going to the front, dancers go to the inside to frame him, so he keeps as a natural feature, and I like that. They push it out, really nice on the tension, they all, boom, have their moment, they go out, he says, hey, it's me, and then from there we have this, camera key ray moment where they're going and tilting him. The push away was really cool. He gets a solo moment. The push is through, boom, boom, boom. This is honestly the first time I'm seeing him use like extremities in his rotations versus his back and investment. So that's one other thing I'm catching here. The accent there, that was nice. Great back on that. So from here, boom, he rotates it in. He hits it up. Little march steps coming out. He swings it down. He brings the energy up. So I like where the energy's going. Nothing's cut off. So that's always a great thing to see here. He goes, he takes it up, boom. I like the pull of the chest and let the head be last. Matches the other textures that he's introduced in the rest of the choreo. From here, he presents out, looks front, the pull right here, that little Amazing choice there of commitment and then keeping it in his mouth. I think I really like that choice. Now, did he rehearse that? I don't know. Maybe that was just in the moment. I think it was a great choice. Full commitment. I know the fans of this group and this member are probably dying on the inside in the comments. You know, I can only imagine. But here's the crawling coming back in. The little wavings are cool. Da 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 da. So they had this effect and they go do do do. So they definitely make it look like the hands have control over him. Once again, he's going and reaching out. I like the foldovers. Look at the red. The red is shifting the energy of control. It doesn't feel like he has as much control, or maybe he does. He hits it, boom, he rotates it over, he drops, they come back up, boom. I like the little shoulder effect. Of course, they were more placed and he's the one who had to do that, but I appreciate being able to see the connection between the dancers and him. And I call this the cookie cutter, no, the Oreo cookie effect, because whenever you think about an Oreo, you have the cookie, cream, and cookie. So whenever you think about choreography that way, the beginning and the end are your cookie and the middle is the cream. So in this case, the setup is very similar in the end in comparison to the beginning, but the outfit is different, and the type of choreo and content we're about to see replicate and kind of frame very similarly because the usage of the shadow and the light. That was really cool. See, look, da 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 da. So they're like shadows, but they kind of look like lights, you know, like street lamps. That's cool. And he's right there. He reaches up. That the scream at the end. He comes up. The reach. There's this little extra reverb at the end. Or just this, not really recoil, but just that effect over there. He goes and he lays down, and of course with the hands up, it gives like this 3D depth spider effect. Lordy, lordy, that was cool. And we finish, he slowly comes up with no music. Really cool. The dancers are still there. I love these choices, and sometimes this doesn't work, but because of how the dancers showed their ability to show refinement and synchronicity in the angles, when they choose to go abstract in our head, we're already training expectations to know, we know they're making the choice to go abstract with a strange angle in comparison to trying to fight for the 90. So we tend to be more gracious and more open-minded to the type of concept they're going for when they go this way, because they showed us what it's like to do their time in the technical aspect of it. So that's really dope. From here, he's going up. He's living his life. We're here for it. Love it. And of course, you have the zoom in shot ending fairy. Really cool. So cool. Like, he gets a clap. So I think, like I said, after analyzing it, I still think this is probably top 3 hardest artists of the month that I may ever see. This was really, really difficult to do as well as he did, specifically Spella's choreo. He's one of the first, I think, that I've seen do Spella's choreo like her, you know what I mean? Like to the degree of competency in it. There wasn't really anything about it, I mean, outside of just a smidgen of these effects, but Spella does that too, you know? I mean, it's just, I think I found so much joy in this, because it was seeing somebody being able to show off a niche that doesn't get to be explored as much in the K-pop industry, because it's so hard to justify and do well in group content. So I love the fact that I got to see this. I'm glad that I listened and we went for it. This was cool. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. This is technically the very first exposure I have of Zero Base One, hence why I was very hesitant to look at this, because when I do marathons, one of the beautiful things about it is I get to look at a group and the members affiliated from their beginning and establish a baseline of what their isms are, and then being able to go through the years and through their discography and discover what new things they're uncovering with their bodies, themselves as artists, and their discography, things like that. And so I'm always, you know, when there's a really, really cool thing like this, I want to be able to appreciate it with as much information as I could potentially have. And I know with this case, knowing his time on Boys Planet would have, I think, been more helpful here, but I'm really glad I found the video I did to at least have some form of baseline on how the public was introduced to him with these movement qualities. So where whenever we're seeing this here, I get to see him shine or already see growth in and of itself. And it makes me excited to one day be able to have the privilege of doing a Zero Base One marathon. I'm looking forward to the commentary on this. What are your thoughts? What was your favorite section of this? Do you agree, disagree? I love discussion, and I'm not very narrow-minded in terms of set in my ways on my opinion or perspective of it. I'm very open to wanting to learn other perspectives, and if that means I need to take a watch on the behind the scenes, I think I may, just out of clarity and being able to see a lot of these artists that I'm very familiar with work in the space with him. I think that would be super fun too, but we'll see. Once again, my name is Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.